Welcome to NBA G League Ignite Takeover. I'm Gianna Hearn, and that's Matt Davis.
Hi, Gianna. Yes, lots to break down. Coming up, we're doing a deep dive on Ignite big man, the Spaniard Izan Almansa. Plus, we're staying in the post as Ignite vet Eric Mika joins the show. But first, let's shock the court. All right, so winless at 0-7. This team is aiming to bounce back with some strong play. And here's a quick recap for all you guys at home. So since the tough loss to Salt Lake City and that 55 points in the fourth quarter, the Ignite have faced off against the Santa Cruz Warriors for the last two games. The first two, they lost a tight one by 9 points with vets John Jenkins and Jeremy Pargo having big games and Tyler Smith continuing his strong play. Then back in Henderson at the DLC, they lost by 24 to Santa Cruz. Tyler Smith shined once again, dropping 21 points and grabbing 8 boards. And next up for the Ignite was the South Bay Lakers. So for those two games in El Segundo and two more tough losses for the squad, Scottie Pippen Jr. was a bright spot for South Bay, scoring 29 and 27 in back-to-back games. Gianna, let's talk this out. What's the main takeaway from these past 4 games?
You know, it's not much different than our last episode. Ignite is dealing with a slew of injuries, and a lot of those are from veterans, which you need some veterans on the court when you have young guys that are 18 years old who haven't played against pros. We've talked about this before. That's one of the things. But these young guys, as they're trying to develop their IQ, they're lacking a little bit on the defensive end. So as we saw against South Bay, they're getting easy transition buckets. South Bay was crushing them in that way. But yeah. Ignite is on the move back because they do have some players coming back from injury. London Johnson was back. He was on a minute restriction. He shouldn't be this upcoming game. So that's kind of where we are right now, still dealing with injuries and still dealing with trying to develop as young players.
Okay, so getting a lot of those guys back on the court is a big thing. The good news is this team is getting some help, gaining an NBA veteran with championship DNA. Norris Cole signed with Ignite this week. The 6-year NBA guard most notably won 2 titles as a member of the Miami Heat. And we all remember that flat top. I even wanted one of those flat tops. Now, most recently, Cole has played overseas and in the G League. Gianna, what does this signing mean for Ignite, and what kind of impact do you think Norris Cole will have on this team?
You know, I think it means a little sigh of relief because you're getting a little backup in that point guard area, which we need with David Stockton out, London on minutes restriction. So you need someone that not only has veteran experience, but he has championship experience. So you're going to get a lot of leadership when it comes to Norris Cole. And it was interesting how this came about because when Ignite played in FIBA over before the season started, they were playing against the Egyptian team, and Norris Cole's on that team. So Ignite was kind of aware of him. They saw what happened. Norris came to the team and expressed his interest in playing for Ignite. Wow. So that's kind of how it developed. And right now, with the situation they're in, you know, Anthony McClish, the GM for Ignite, said it's about the right time. I think we should do it.
Look at that. My man manifesting. I like it. All right. So from one bright spot to another, NBA Draft Prospect and Ignite center Izan Almansa is shining in purple and black. Now, 2 games ago, he loaded up the box score with 22 points, 10 boards, and 1 assist. Now, last game, Almansa added 11 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Man, this kid is doing a bunch of everything. Gianna, it should be no surprise because at 18, Almansa has already played professionally in Europe and with Overtime Elite. And I might add, he's the first player to win MVP honors for FIBA U17 World Cup and FIBA U19 World Cup. So what excites you most about this young player?
Well, beyond that he's like 6'9", has really good passing touch. I mean, that's probably one of the most exciting things about him. But he's really showcasing now what scouts looked at him prior to the season as a really good person in pick and roll. He's been able to show that in those last 2 games, getting his first double-double. And what I liked about that game is he was doing things from all over the court. Not from the beyond the perimeter, which is an area that he needs to develop, and that's what scouts are looking at. But he's doing things much better offensively. And defensively, he's had to shift because of some of the holes that Ignite has with the depth. But he's doing a good job right now.
Okay, yeah, because he's really comfortable in that elbow area. But like you said, if he can go beyond the arc, this is going to be big time for this Spanish center. Now, there's lots to be excited about when it comes to Izan Almansa. I was lucky enough to chat with the fundamentally sound center from Spain. Let's take a closer look.
Chad from using that pick and roll cross-court passes, broken up by Almansa. Got the 2-on-1, takes it himself, and finishes out.
Let's talk about this. I mean, first of all, you're the first player to win MVP honors for FIBA U17 World Cup and FIBA U19 World Cup. You also got another MVP with FIBA U18 European Championship. Where do you keep these MVP trophies?
At home with my mom and my brother.
And right when you walk into the house, do you see them, or you put them up? Because if I had 3 MVP trophies, I'd carry them with me, and I'd be bringing them to Chipotle
so
everywhere.
I have like 2 watches and 1 ball, 1 golden ball, and the ball is like when you enter, it's like in front of you, and then the 2 watches are like on my room.
I love it. I love it. And tell us, what has that meant to you? You're 18 years old, 6'10", forward center. We're going to be getting into everything here with you with Ignite, but what did that mean to you, being recognized and getting those MVP honors?
So it was a great honor for me. I was super proud, and then it was like, it gave me a lot of confidence coming here. The last year too, going at OTE.
Yeah.
So mostly it gave me confidence, and I was so happy, and then I was able to show my game in Europe and then show my game here.
And as 18, you're born in Spain. At what age did you become professional?
So I went to Real Madrid when I was 14, but that was like scholarship or something like that. And then I went to overtime at 16, so that's when.
And at 14, I mean, think about this. That's a very young age to really start taking basketball seriously. What's going through your head when you're that age? I mean, it's almost like you're a couple years removed from caring about cartoons, right? But now you're playing professional basketball. I mean, what's going through your head at the age of 14 playing with Real Madrid?
So I was nervous because I had to leave home because I live in Murcia, it's on the south, and Madrid is on the middle. So it's like 5 hours drive from home. And when the Real Madrid called me, and my mom told my grandmother, she was like worried because she was too far. And then I decided to go. It was hard for me the first months because I was away from home. But then my teammates helped me, and the coaching staff, and I was really good there, and it was really 2 good years.
Here's Almansa again going against Sarr and throws it on his head.
Is there an advantage being a guy from overseas in Europe? I mean, you know, guys like Luka, we're seeing Luka Doncic dominate the NBA, and a lot of it, you know, I think people are tying towards the fact that, yeah, he was a professional at such a young age, and it's different here in the States. What are the advantages that guys from overseas playing in Europe and all those types of leagues, what kind of advantage does that bring to you on the floor?
I would say that you have to grow earlier because you are going to play against grown men. Luka was playing when he was 15, 16, so he has to like change his mind and be able to just help the team however he can. If he can just have 5 assists, that's fine. If he can score 20 points, that's fine. But just find your role on the team and just try to help the team win.
Almansa, look at those long steps and the touch.
Who do you model your game after?
I mean, my favorite player is Embiid, but right now I look at Alperen Sengun.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. And Houston with the Rockets.
Yeah.
And, but you love Embiid, and tell us a little bit about, you know, where you see yourself next year. What do you need to do over the course of this season with the Ignite to really achieve that goal, where so many people are saying, hey, this is a highly decorated prospect. Yeah, you are a guy who could be a top 10, top 15 pick. What do you need to work on, you think, immediately to get there?
I would say my shooting. I've been working on it. I just need to get more confidence and be able to show it on the game. But just keep working on everything. I mean, I can get better at everything, ball handling, touch. So also I'm working on my body. I'm trying to get stronger to be able to compete against the big guys in the NBA. So the thing I would say it will be my shooting and my body.
Excited to witness the impact he has at the next level. And speaking of the next level, next up we're speaking to another big man who knows exactly what it takes to play in the association.
He's in his 2nd season with Ignite, and last year he ranked 2nd on the team in total rebounds and assists. After the break, we're joined by Ignite's Eric Mika. Our next guest is a force in the paint. He's made impact at every level, from winning a state title in high school to college at BYU, and then playing overseas and ultimately making his NBA debut with the Kings in 2020.
Yes, plus he's responsible for the only triple-double in Ignite team history. Eric Mika is spending some time with us as he's sidelined with an injury. Eric, great to be with you. Tell us, how are you recovering?
Good. If we would have done this a week ago, I would have still been on crutches. You guys have probably seen me hobbling around during the games. So that's a big improvement for morale, also for just regular life. It made it really inconvenient moving around, chasing around kids, and like even working out. Like when the team's on the road, I haven't been traveling with them. So going from my apartment to the gym is like, it's a workout in and of itself, and don't have much motivation when I get there and my arms are already numb. So
Gotcha, yeah.
good to be back on my feet, And one step closer, it's still going to be a little bit, but it's looking good. It's responding really well, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, this team is 0-7 right now.
Yeah.
So they're hitting a little bit of a slump. What are you telling the guys as a veteran from your perspective? What can you tell them to help morale in this situation?
Well, I think number one, as far as morale is, this is not unique to professional sports. Definitely not, the NBA and what they're going to experience starting next year when they're on a team. They're going to go through slumps. They might end up on a team that has, these losses that are stacking up. So number one is, I think the message from myself and from the coaching staff and from other veterans is, be positive. Whether it's the up or the down, both of them are going to come. There's going to be a lot of them. There's going to be plenty of bumps in the road. So be the same person whether you're up 30 or you're down 30. You win 7 in a row or you lose 7 in a row. You can't feed into all the things that you're hearing, around positive or negative. You just need to continue to work and be yourself. And that feeds into point number 2. Point number 2 is get better. This is, I think, why the G League is so great, and especially Ignite is so great, is it's humbling. You see how many good basketball players there are out there, and you can't take a single game, a single assignment, a single scouting report lightly, because you're going to get beat, and you're going to get beat bad. So, I'd say those are the 2. Be yourself, be positive, see the good in it, and get better.
Gotcha. All right, let's really break this down, because we keep coming back to this. This team is really comprised of top talent that one day is going to make a mark on the NBA. But to me, the real distinction to break down is the distinction between, guys coming out of high school and facing professionals rather than college level talent. So when we're talking about making that transition from guys who are just coming out of high school, rather than playing somebody who's studying economics and also playing on the BYU, basketball team, what is
specific.
What is the difference between, a guy who's really, even though, yes, they might be a top-tier NBA prospect, what is the difference in that distinction between facing a college-level player right out of high school and playing somebody who's a professional?
Big difference. I mean, I wish I could have had something like that. I don't know if I would have been good enough, to be looked at. But, you take South Bay. That's our last game. We're going through their scouting report, and I don't know how many guys they had on there because they had assignments. They had 2 ways. So, anywhere from 10 to 15 guys were on that scouting report, and 90% of them have played NBA minutes. Right? And some of them for multiple seasons. It's no joke who they're going up against, and they're going to bring their A game because they're playing against Ignite, who has a big platform, who has a big following. There's always scouts at our games naturally because of who we have on our team. So these guys aren't only NBA players and proven professionals, but they're also bringing their best game because this is a chance for them to be seen as well. Yeah. So
NBA minutes have to weigh differently.
They weigh different. There's really no comparison between college competition and professional, because you're talking about proven NBA players who, given the right opportunity or the right health, would be on a current team, right? But right now they're working their way back. Versus, like you said, an accounting major or someone who is a very high-level basketball player, but probably won't play pro. Most college teams might have 1 or 2, maybe 3 if they're a very good team, professionals, and so to me it just doesn't really add up.
X's and O's wise, if you were the coach, what are you telling them to turn this thing around right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of people ask me about Jay Hart, and he is just absolutely the guy for the job. He knows the X's and O's, but just the conversations that he's having with these young guys in the film room every day before practice, and then I would assume also on the road. I mentioned I'm not going on the road yet until this next trip, but it's the same thing that I was preaching earlier. It's, hey, guys, be yourself, be optimistic, be positive, but more importantly, get better. There are things that we're telling you guys every day, and he loves saying, once you turn off your mic and turn on your headphones, then things are going to be a little bit easier. And the guys they're doing that. They're responding well. They're good kids. There's no lack of effort and hard work. It's just adapting to a new level, and it's tough for everybody.
Well, it doesn't get better than this, guys, because now it's time for something special. We have a present for you this holiday season, so let's get under this big tree and unwrap this big present, because it's a new segment we're doing here on Ignite Takeover, and it's called Mika's Moment.
I love this. This is great. Super excited about Mika's moment, something that John and I have been talking about a little bit this week. This first one, our first Mika's moment, is none other than our man Thierry. He is enjoying his first Thanksgiving feast, and here he is chowing down on a big old turkey leg. And you know, I think it's great. I wanted this to be the first one because, one, you get to see a little bit of his personality. He's a little bit quiet. You know, English is coming on strong, but you get to see how animated, how funny he is, even without speaking. But then also second, like I was watching this and figuring out what I wanted to send in, and this just kind of struck me because you don't really realize like how big of a deal it is that these kids are here. You know, like this kid is 19 years old, living in a country that he had never visited before, you know, a year ago, speaking a language he had never practiced before a year ago, and trying to be a professional. You know, so again, feeding into what I was talking about, it's not easy. Like it's not just adapting to the physical game or the level of the competition because they're professionals. There's all these other things that feed into it, which is why this learning curve exists and why it's going to take a second for it to click, but it's going to click, and these guys are going to look really, really good.
It's a beautiful
Well, if no one's followed you on Instagram, they have to, because you're posting these stories all the time.
Yes.
See, okay, I gotta.
Good stuff.
I follow you. I just don't watch everybody's stories.
You just don't respond. What's up with that?
Hey, you don't respond to me.
That's actually true. That was messed up.
I got you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Eric Mika. Thanks for being here. We love it. We got something new now. Mika's moment. I love that. After a short break, we're going into the eye of the storm with the Spanish Wonder. Yes, that's my official nickname for Izan Almansa. I'm going to try and get that going. We'll see. We're going to see if this nickname sticks.
Copyright it.
We got more Ignite action ahead. Welcome back to NBA G League Ignite Takeover. Buckle up, everyone, because it's time to head into the eye of the storm.
In this episode of Inside the Pro Lab, we're sticking with your guy Mike, the Spanish Wonder, Izan Almansa. Check this out.
I am Izan Almansa from Spain, and I play center.
His IQ is off the charts. Well, he's outstanding with terminology, outstanding with his teamwork skills on the court.
I just want to help the team win and win some championship and just have some fun while I'm playing.
Izan from Spain, but currently playing with Team Ignite. For those of you that don't know, last summer Izan was crowned world champion with Spain. He was the MVP of the World Under-19 tournament that took place in Hungary. Now plays in Team Ignite, showcasing his talent along with other great players.
I really like Izan Almansa because, I mean, he's 6'10", 6'11", versatile on the defensive end of the floor. He's smart, he's patient with the ball. You can give him the ball at the elbows and the post.
He has a really good knowledge of the game. That guy has a great basketball IQ. He has a great feel for the game. He's actually fun to watch because he just understands everything that's going on offense and defense. He talks on the court, and he just knows what's going on. So when you have a guy like that, you can kind of put him on there with any lineup, and he's going to help guys get better.
Seeing him get all the rebounds over these pro people, this is my first time seeing him play. I think he a dog. I think he might be a little bit underrated.
He's gonna play hard every single play. He's just one of those guys that, like, he doesn't take plays off. You know, I kind of saw it a little bit in Singapore where, you know, yeah, I kind of joked about it, but he was really all around the whole arena. You know, not on the bench, but he was in the stands. He was diving for loose balls. He was, you know, getting us extra plays and stuff like that. And so when you got a guy that you know that's not gonna take plays off, it's, you know, it's easy to play with those type of guys.
I would say just have fun with the game, and then the other things will come. Just enjoy the game, have fun, and also trust your teammates, the coaches, and everything. But most important, have fun.
He's been a professional since he was like 15, so I mean, he's been doing all the right things, like taking care of his body.
Just coming to work every single day. You know, I think he's one of those guys where he picks up on things really fast. And, you know, he's a really quiet guy, but when you see him play, when you see him, you know, work every single day before and after, you know, he's just one of those guys that consistently, to me, gets better every single day.
Yeah, great stuff there. And part of what makes this Ignite organization special is the support all these young guys receive off the court. And a big part of that is the guidance and the mentorship they can glean from the coaching staff. So for big man Izan Almansa, he's forming a special bond with assistant coach and former NBA player Amir Johnson. Gianna, I was recently at a practice and I was talking to Coach Amir Johnson off to the side, and he was really saying how impressed he is with this young big man. He really compared him to Draymond Green in the sense that he's a big man who can facilitate, and he looks to involve his teammates more so than shoot first. And he thinks the big thing this guy needs to work on is when the opportunity is there, he's got to look to shoot and be a little bit more assertive and aggressive. What do you think about that? Do you agree with Coach Johnson?
You know, I know he's saying that because of the passing ability that Izan has, which Draymond is elite at that. So if you're going to throw that name out there, you're going to think that Izan is going to be elite as well, and he definitely has that ceiling. But looking for his shot, getting more active offensively, that's what we're looking at from him. So we'll see if he does that. He has already the double-double. I think he has some confidence now.
I like that. I like Draymond's attitude and his presence on the court as well. And I'm going to be sticking with that Spanish wonder. Now, next up, we're taking a trip to Nellis Air Force Base.
Mike, you joined the team on an exciting trip and open practice in North Las Vegas. After the break, we'll show you the full experience. That's next. Nellis Air Force Base is sharing their home court. Earlier this week, Ignite took a team trip to North Las Vegas for some team bonding and community outreach. At an open practice, the experience meant as much to the team as it did to Nellis.
We'll see you guys here next time on Ignite Takeover.
Thanks for watching Fox 5 News. Watch us live wherever you are, on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.